the guests I have. The format, if you're listening or watching for the first time,
we're attempting to analyze
talk about different stuff. People that I have context for, either I'm watching
and make a YouTube.
All three here I actually know pretty well. Two I've met several times in person. One I've interacted with you the most actually, but we haven't met, and I'm glad we finally did that. And so I'm gonna let them introduce themselves. 1 minute bio stories, who they are, what they do, and maybe a little fun fact. And then
This one is a negative
topics, and then also interject
interaction.
I love them or admire them or curious about them, or maybe dislike them. I might be saying that right now. Who knows? But why don't we start?
Likely because of the female, which is usually the case.
I'm the CEO of Barstool Sports. I've been at Barstool for 2 years. We've taken the company from 12
Eyes are closed.
And very small investment to
Small.
$100 million valuation, and we're becoming a juggernaut in the men's space. Prior to that, I had a company called Backstage where I really sought to connect music artists and their fans directly.
Backstage.
And I thought that artists should be able to own their data, connect with their fans, have an LTV type relationship, and ultimately, and ultimately to be able to know your fans and connect with them directly, which is something I've always been really passionate about. Was the CMO of AOL, worked at a bunch of big digital media companies, started my career thinking I was going to be a lawyer, which definitely did not happen.
When you tell people you're the CEO of Barstool, which is known for not only being a young male brand, but like edgy. Yeah, like
You're impatient.
I feel like, oh, I could that's like it's real edgy.
Yeah.
Like people are like, get the fuck out of here when you say like,
Get the fuck out of here.
Like if you're just hanging out in like real life, do some people actually think you're joking and making a joke and they're like, no, really, but what?
Yeah,
I don't believe that. Like,
Redhead.
know you and know how really know how badass you are, but also just.
I'm wondering if I should put the camera over here
Like at a dinner conference and everyone went around. I'd be like, oh no, that's.
or over here.
Yeah. I think I'm a curiosity in the whole mix of it.
Maybe I'll turn this way.
To be a CEO of Barstool, I love Barstool. I'm super proud to work there. I was a huge fan of Barstool. Built a lot of Backstage based on.
I see a door.
Because you know the underlying truth, not the kind of like the makeup that people get upset about. It's like curses or is raunchy.
I think we live in an outraged society. I think the pressure to be PC is just overwhelming and it's strangling.
Understood.
And the judgment that comes with that is punitive. And we are an agendaless brand.
Burping.
That cares about making its audience.
Holding back, meaning I don't share. I'm not sharing authentically and free.
Thank you.
Go ahead, my man.
My name's Resy.
Do you think it's funny that I always say Resy?
No, it's always good. You said you were a poor student, so like.
He's right. By the way, I don't know if you saw this.
Gary always mispronounces everything. He's not because he was a poor student. It's because he's Russian.
I made a video in 2008 that said I suck, and one of the examples of me saying that I suck is I suck at pronunciating and saying things the right way. Because in the wine world, when I was doing Wine Library TV,
This is a new adventure, so I don't know how long my phone will go because generally with this phone, it doesn't hold as much information. So ideally, I would like to watch the whole thing, but it takes up so much data that I'm not sure I'm going to be able to download it onto YouTube. That's my problem with this whole thing.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I've never
Two
heard that.
vowels is always on when followed by a consonant.
Yeah, I don't even know what a fucking consonant is.
It's a non-vowel. But anyways, I go by Resy. I grew up super poor, food stamps, welfare, government health care. I never knew anyone that owned a
Yeah, they didn't particularly like her either, which is a bad place for Barstools to be when 3 out of the 4 people don't like your CEO.
Still married 18 years later. 13 years ago, I found out about selling books on Amazon, and
I've done that.
So
College.
I was already into eBay because they were running commercials on TV when I was like 14, so I sold everything I could. And I was an avid
College
reader.
books. I sold some college books on Amazon.
I started them for a penny, and they went for like 80% of the retail value.
It's cold in here.
Later on in life, I was in thrift stores. I seen people with barcode scanners scanning books. I would ask them.
I'm getting stabbed in the throat.
Clam up, and they would like ignore, like act like I was invisible.
You're ignoring me.
Invisible, so I was like, oh, they're making a lot of fucking money. So, and I'm technology minded. They have barcode scanners.
That's called street smarts. Like some of the things they don't teach you in school is when somebody clams up, it's because
I'm clammed up.
Right.
Keep going, man.
So they had a barcode scanner, and I was like, oh, those are, you know, at least $100 to $300, so they got to be making some money. So I like drilled into it. YouTube wasn't
Hold on,
out
that
yet,
just
the
made me
iPhone
smile.
wasn't
I gotta
out.
stop because that just makes me smile too. You know, like just thinking about
Perverted.
psychology at that point, be like, yo, they're really on because they got that bar skills. You know, that's amazing. Keep going.
So smartphones weren't out yet, iPhone wasn't out, YouTube wasn't out yet. There was no Resy resells. There's no books I could read. You know, I exhausted my Google food trying to figure
I guess
out
I could do it in
what was.
pieces. I don't know.
And
We'll
I
see.
couldn't figure out how they were doing the books. Eventually, I just kept asking every person I would run
This is
into.
my very first
Old lady
live
who just
reading,
told me everything right away.
watching.
I was like, thank you. I ran home, looked it all up, and then I started selling books the next day. Apparently, they were selling on Amazon. I didn't even know what Amazon was at the time. This was 14
You must
years
be
ago.
getting some information.
And so, been selling books and other things on Amazon full time for the last 13 years, and I sold over 5 million gross in that time period. About 3 years ago, I
No
found a
one's
little green
hearing
black
this
book
or
called Crush It
something.
when I was scanning books. to
Something like
sell.
this.
And I scanned
Or maybe
it,
it's just
wasn't
me.
worth anything. Fuck, no offense. But something about it just intrigued me. It's like it reminded me of money. It's called Crush It. Like what douche names their book Crush It? Nobody ever. And then I had just read the Delivering Happiness book, the Zappos book, and he has a quote on the back of the book or whatever. So that sold me. I went home, opened it, read the whole thing. Like I just sat down and read the whole thing, and that's how I learned who you
Angels,
were. And
friends,
holy shit, I've been doing social media. I was like that guy that would like post pictures of his dinner and get like 13 likes and be like,
Post pictures of his dick.
Like, and I was like, wait a minute, like I've been using it like a TV, and now I can like push messages out. And like,
I'm trying to say what I really want to say, but I'm not really able to say what I need to say.
How can you? What do you want to do? How can you bring people around you? Like what? You know, bring all your boys to the yard or whatever. And I was like, shit, I know how to sell shit. And before that, I was like 13 years of radio silence. I didn't
Bringing
tell
the
nobody
boys to the
shit.
yard, and they're like, it's better than nine, damn right. But I have to charge.
People were like, "Oh, Resy, how come you don't go to the factory outlet and sell Nikes on Amazon?" And I was like, "You can sell Nikes on Amazon?" It's like, holy. They're like, "How come you don't sell DVDs?" I was like, "You can sell DVDs?" Like I was super.
Curiosity guy, I like it.
Never?
I'm looking at dog hair brushes.
Really selfish family, not religious, like just super.
Like the tooth comb kind.
Following your blueprint and helping other people, which totally started out as
A map.
meeting. I wanted to be a YouTuber. I wanted to get my moment or whatever.
What's your moment?
Texting me, hey, we're in Disneyland right now.
We're in Disneyland right now.
I thought I would be able to take my kids to Disneyland, but because of what you did, and we're able to.
I've got kids,
things now.
lady.
My husband lost his job. They canned him, and our family's thriving because of your free content that you put out helped us to achieve stuff. And I get messages like that every day. And like you said, it's.
Are you talking about Gary or yourself?
It's like oxygen.
You're pointing at Gary.
Not that I know a crack.
Or her. I think you're pointing at her.
Never experienced it, but you know what I mean? It's like intense, right? It's like there's nothing more.
It's a high.
And then.
Do you know what happens if you take too much oxygen?
God says hi.
Yeah. So and then just real quick to wrap it up.
If you ain't flipping, you ain't slipping.
17 flip challenge,
Yes.
right? Because I stopped watching your content.
Flip challenge.
Like, as you instructed
Let me see if I can flip you.
You get me sometimes on.
Oops, somebody in the back's gonna get flipped too.
But
I can still sneak in once in a while.
right. When the 2017 flip challenge
Flip.
started, my phone started blowing up, and like all my boys were texting me like, "Bro, he put you on," and I'm like, "What?" Because you had mentioned me before, but this was like. You guys had clips from my Snapchat on there, and I was like, "Holy shit!"
Don't look at my
that's
Snapchat.
2 months ago. So someone at Vayner was watching my Snap 2 months ago.
You better not be watching my snaps. Except for Gary. And then Gru.
I don't watch anything. I'm watching React. I don't consume any Barstool. This is real. None. I've never.
Wonder why that lady
None.
at the fence acted like that to the guy who we all think owns Barstools.
Consume people. I've never consumed a single thing of yours.
Right.
I've consumed people taking a screenshot
I like Barstools.
of your
They're really
YouTube
kind of be raunchy
fucking
sometimes, but I think that's fun
boxes.
sometimes
What I know
too.
about you visually is like boxes in the background of your garage because it was a still shot of somebody.
This is
being
aggravating.
Yo, this is Gary. You
I can't
like
reach the
flipping
remote.
Stuff on garage sales. This guy likes flipping stuff. You know what I mean? And then you were emailing me.
Head hit.
Hey, crush it, help me.
I can't reach it.
I read all my comments and I read culture.
I can't reach it.
So
I don't know where it is.
because you know, the reason that
I want to see what the date is on this. Because things may have shifted.
He's like, yo, this is all fun, motivational.
Yet none of this ever stops. Meaning none of it ever stops. If you have somebody work for you, they're still talking about you. Meaning if she's quit, she's still talking shit about you. It's right here in my lap. That's a message. This is in July 31st, 2018. It's the day that I got married in 2008. There she goes. Thunder, thunder, Thundercats. It's really strange that me and Gary are like the only ones who know these characters. Thundercats, She-Ra, He-Man. By the power of Grayskull, I am She-Ra. I am He-Man.
You know too, right? Those are the toys you had. That's right. Yeah, I don't know.
Cabbage Patch Kids? Yeah, of course. Me too. I used to play with Rainbow Bright. I used to have one. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Heroes in a half shell. Da-da-da.
Like now I can really like get in the comments and like help people. But before the 2017 Flip Challenge,
High
when we
energy.
started our love affair was you were live
These two have a love
streaming,
affair.
you were live streaming you were streaming on 3 platforms: Periscope, Facebook, and
I was on Periscope for a while. It's weird.
I couldn't get on Periscope. I couldn't get on Facebook. It's literally one wouldn't let me on. The
You can
other
have a breakthrough. Hi.
do was comment, so I took the third door. I went on.
I made friends with the voice inside, and we laughed together and we joke. That's God.
Waiting, and there was like this little where you like all close to the screen, and I was like, boom, posted it, and then you read it.
Weird, huh?
You like had a good reaction, and then I ripped it off of Meerkat, and I asked you if I could use it for my
Paris,
intro, and
France. What the heck, France? What you want?
I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad you're here, France. You know I love you.
Third door, and it's about my journey the past 7
And I feel like I'm either I might be talking to the land of France. I'm not really sure, but France is awesome.
years. So
I love France,
this is
and I've never even been there.
Lady Gaga, Science, Jane Goodall, Maya Angelou, Jessica
Jane
Alba,
Goodall.
Quincy Jones, Steve Wozniak, and it's been this wild adventure.
Wild
And
adventures.
a fun fact, which Gary knows, is the whole
Our
trip
dreams
started
this morning were awesome, weren't
when
they?
I was trying to fund the adventure. I was 18 years old. I was buried in student loan debt. I was all out of bar mitzvah cash. So there had to be a way to make some quick money.
Yo, when that bar mitzvah cash goes,
Yo, you
stress.
Jewish people. A lot of Jewish people that y'all don't even know are Jewish.
Bar mitzvah cash.
Wrote
So
Jewish.
I needed to make some quick money. And I had this dream.
Isn't it ironic how
The night before
World War
exams, and I saw some
II was about people not believing in Jesus when Jewish people were right?
First thought was, well, what if I go on the show and win some money?
Because don't you just believe in God?
Not a problem. I'd never seen a full episode of the show before. Plus, I had
Because
finals in 2 days, so I told myself
Jesus is a man.
But it was as if he
We
was
love Jesus, though. I have to tell you that I love Jesus, so don't get me wrong. I am a Christian.
So that night, I decided to do
But you were worshiping the wrong one.
study. But I didn't study for
Although God doesn't really want you to worship, do you?
And I went on the show the next day and did this
He said no.
And ended up winning the whole show.
We have this conversation often.
Selling the sailboat, and that's how I funded the book.
One more time. For the people that-
What? He said to be quiet?
8 seconds. One more time.
8 seconds,
So
be quiet.
I pulled an all-nighter, studied how the show worked, went the next day, won a sailboat, sold the sailboat, and that's how I funded the book.
What was the insight that you
what's the hack?
Give us the hack on
All right, so this is how the price right works. They make it look random, like Gary, come on down, as if they pulled your name out of a hat, right?
Yeah.
What I learned during my all-nighter of research is that there's 300 people in the audience, 8 get called down, 1 wins. So the odds,
8 to
the hard
1.
odds are getting from 300 to the 8.
Yeah.
Once you're one of the 8, I figured I could just wing it from there. And I realized there's a producer who interviews every single person in the audience before the show goes on.
I should get my ring light.
Cover producer who's planted in the audience who confirm or denies the original producer's selection.
Confirm or deny.
So it was this wild experience, and my hacking was less Einstein and more Forrest Gump. but it worked really
What do they
well.
want?
Einstein.
They want someone who is.
See how she shows up when I say Einstein?
Okay.
And then I was going to say Forrest Gump.
This is why I always get picked.
Mind games.
This made me think of the Daily Show's first season, and I took my friend Tokyo Joe Manikawa, who I reference a bunch from college. He's like a huge fan. This is right out of college. This is literally like one of the only days I did not work in my 20s. This is true. Because he came, I love him so much. We're going to go see Jon Stewart. I'm like, whatever. Joe wants to be an improv actor, so I moved to Chicago. He's going to be on TV one day. This, that, the other thing. We go in the audience.
Jab, jab, right hook, John.
And Jon Stewart comes up and talks to me because I would have been picked for Price is Right. Let's put it that way. I'm incapable of not being fired up.
So yeah, that once I got the money from The Price is Right,
I love that. I love that you were on The Price is Right. I used to watch The Price is Right.
Dates, 3 years.
If The Price is Right.
So we're kind of now going into interview form to set some context.
If the price is right.
From I've got a couple bucks from a sailboat to I've got to meet Bill Gates. What was the thesis that
Hey,
you were
Bill.
running on at that point?
I sent a text message out last
How did you
night.
figure out how the most successful people were? You clearly had a brain that figured
The
out
guy
how
in
to
the
do
picture,
Price is Right. Were you always
right
that
here,
kind of
with the
social
dreads,
engineer?
keeps showing.
You said if I can spend a lot of time with successful people over the course of a period of time, I might figure out what
Yeah,
actually
he's a good
works, and
guy, I
I'll
think.
do that for myself later in life.
It started from a life crisis. I was 18. I was a freshman in college, and I was spending
Something about this.
lying on my dorm bed, staring up at the ceiling. And to understand why, it wasn't that I hated it. It was that I am the son of Jewish immigrants, which pretty much means I came out of the womb. My mom cradled me in her arms, and then she stamped ND on my ass and sent me on my way.
Yeah.
Like different
It's
childhood.
ND.
No question.
Like the doctor track, 100%.
Listen, this is, I'm glad you're here.
There's something wrong with being a doctor.
And create some clarity. When talk
I should have been a doctor.
Right? Think about you two talking about your backgrounds. Different
I was too
things
scared and it
that-
cost too much.
things that make me say I'm grateful for mine.
If the price is right.
You have parent, think of both parent situations have
Oneness.
ramifications that I worry about, which is either it's like a tough scene, or it's not a tough scene, but there's an expectation on the child that doesn't take the child into consideration. The fact that my mom took me into consideration, like watched me.
I
and
don't
then decided,
connect to
"Hey,
this
you'll be
conversation
an
at all.
entrepreneur," Not that she used that terminology. Watched my brother AJ. I really changed up the game on my mom because she looked at my brother's AJ and said, "Oh, you're gonna be a lawyer. That means you'll be a good student." I swooped in because I was older. I was like, "Fuck lawyer shit." If you understand, I was like, "You're gonna be an entrepreneur." But
She should have been a lawyer, and she would have been a horrible lawyer.
And so
That right there tells you a lot about somebody.
And they understand reason, right? They understand being a minority, a female, not coming from nothing. That's understandable. We do not talk about in our society the people that I actually have equal. Let me say it now, and people can get mad at me just because I know what depression looks like. We're judging happiness on the outside. We have not started the conversation on happiness
see.
on the inside.
She's showing me my jiggly tricep.
The people that are the most unhappy on the inside are the ones that have too much.
Just saying.
And I get it.
It just bugs
You can
me.
judge me now. I'll
Bugs
say it
me,
in
though.
years. When people talk about
Yeah, this is the conversation in a woman's head when they're with a psycho woman.
Yes.
God, that bothers me.
Gary Vaynerchuck's point of view on marriage.
My life is so awful. I feel so bad all the time. Oh, you poor thing.
And be in good mental DNA
Let me tell you what you need to do.
nothing.
Even though I'm more experienced in everything than she is,
Engineer, lawyer, or doctor
and that goes for her staff too.
is adversity.
Adversity wins always,
Bad shit or really
which
great
is why
shit.
we have this vicious cycle about
My content
racism
on a
and
daily
shit.
basis is to help
'Cause of
somebody
people
find
like
out
her.
bad shit, find a curveball.
And somehow they're so malicious and so vile. They step on people and they always make it to the top. Because that's how evil they are.
Well, you're gonna apologize because
I'm sorry I did that.
because your content is
Still climbing to the top.
freshman in college. The pre-med of pre-meds, but I'm looking at the stack of biology books, feeling like there's
I
something.
love biology.
So then I'm wondering, maybe I'm not on my path. Maybe I'm on a path somebody placed me on. I'm just
Ah, you would have been such a good
So now I'm
doctor
going through this
too.
Life crisis. I'm watching your videos. Literally, 18 years old.
You know what doctor is? It's like helping
in my
people.
study rooms on a
You're like
Friday
such a
night.
good helper.
All my friends are at a fraternity party. I'm up there watching one of your keynotes for the first time.
I have to tell you
And
something.
I swear, man.
I need you to have a
I'll never
seat.
forget that night because my dad called me like 5 times. I didn't
Your
answer.
cancer is cured.
Because for the first time, I was realizing maybe this isn't my path. So now not only do I not know what
Just
I want to
saying.
do, I don't know
There's a
how
lot of
people
positive
talk
about
how
it.
They did it. How did Bill Gates sell his first piece of software out of his dorm room when nobody knew his name? How did Spielberg become the youngest director of Hollywood history when he's rejected from film
This
school?
whole group behind them
These
is
are the
very
things they don't
good.
teach you in school. So in my
Oh, this is the pod.
in my confusion, I had a very naive idea of, well, why
And then
don't
we
I
do
just
the
call Bill
hand
Gates and interview
jack off.
myself?
Because
I
she's
thought it
over
took
here.
3 months.
Do you see how that works?
Just came out.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, thank you, man.
Good for you.
And so you're all doing some real solid stuff. And then subconsciously,
What is the most interesting
here we go.
in culture?
I might
in
make
the
it to
world
30
going
minutes
on
here.
right now that doesn't have to do with Barstool? Like, what are you watching? Like, is there a restaurant that has a $800 cheeseburger? Are you obsessed? This is how I'm gonna preface it. What are you obsessed with right now that you're watching that's happening out there? I've come to realize, oh, I'm an anthropologist. Like, it's amazing who I think I am now. Literally, I decided this a week ago. The last week, I'm like, oh, those people that go to the jungle.
Now you gotta hear the words.
The red-beaked baboon? That's me. I just do that with people.
The goon.
Nobody's watching. That's my love.
So she's trying to put you down, but she's trying to.
I'm gonna interrupt you guys 10 times here, and everyone's like, you're not a listener. You're such an asshole. Stop interrupting people. I'm like, man, I'm such
Now
a
she's
listener.
talking about
I just
me.
listen differently. I'm watching for cues. That's what I've done my whole life. So there's always things that are catching my attention, right? Like, for example, if this was a year and a half ago, I'd be like, this
If the
movie
price is
catches my
right,
attention.
drop
I
my
didn't
pen.
I didn't listen to a single Cardi B song before I read
Middle finger
all
taps on
1,000
table.
comments about Cardi B. Yeah, that's weird. I've
Head hit.
realized, and I'm articulating it more because maybe it's gonna help somebody figure out shit. But that's kind of like heady. What about like what are you obsessed with right now? Like a new drink, a new T-shirt, a new show, your nephew's new girlfriend. Like, give me something here.
I'm obsessed with a lot of things. I'm obsessed with going into nail salons and seeing what
You're
they
serious?
are watching. What is on
The
the
default
Nail
show.
salons.
default show in a nail
Is
salon.
it
Claws.
politics or is it like daytime, like Steve
The
Harvey?
best ones are either Korean or Chinese television.
Love it.
Korean and Chinese television is
Bad.
fascinating because it's YouTube.
Something
it's
about
dumb,
why she's saying
there's
it.
a lot of characters, they're doing stupid shit, and the energy is insane. Like, I don't like it when the nail salon runs the like cheapo fake news station, right? Where it's like the weather, innocuous content. But if you go to,
Will you like walk in?
I just walk in to just
Peep and
then
you're
leave.
out?
Yeah. Like,
She's lying.
because it's New York City, so you can. There's like 16 nail salons.
She walks in
Everything is Irish
to
bar.
look around at the who's doing the
So I
nails,
would walk into like
and then she leaves
McGillicuddy's.
yeah, McGillicuddy's. I'm like, okay,
because she's a judger.
like, who's there? What's on the television? What
See?
are they serving?
There's a lot of proper food.
What is it like in here? How am I gonna get treated? I'm a princess. Da, 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 da.
Nothing as weird as stalking the nail salon
Yeah, it's not-
choice television shows, but I'm super into coffee.
He got something from it,
I have a machine at home.
Is it fancy?
Yeah, super fancy.
and no one really wants to talk to her,
I got my shake
which is
on.
another sign that she's not in the right position as CEO of Barstools.
I just found out.
She's a liar.
People know about this.
She stepped on a lot of people.
Yeah.
What does the cost do? Like, what makes it better?
So it's just all
Cost.
about, like,
The name on the machine.
no. It's all about
Boom.
consistency, right? So like your Nespresso, that's just like some bullshit, right? You're like
Something sexual about Nespresso.
It's like manual. You know, you grind the coffee of expensive grinder. The particles.
INT.
Is
Yeah.
uniform.
Do you
put
find
it
this
in the thing,
cathartic?
and
Like,
you-
do you feel
And
like
is it
it's
ritual
ritual
for
for
you?
less? Yeah.
I
Is
do
it
a lot,
rituals?
So I do take pride.
She's part of their team.
Knowing like what's going into it. Like I used to drink 8 cups of coffee a day, and my boy Chris Baca.
So it must have been going on some back then.
This coffee that I brought to the team or whatever. He would see me coming.
Y'all's that whole legacy of female entrepreneur bullshit is like literally let's go down the list. And I'm not saying that women should not be in business because there's a lot of women like me out there.
So you get all your caffeine you need, but you have a lot less acidic.
You notice also in the amount of caffeine they drink.
Like hacking it.
I'll have a triple shot of espresso with a double extra pump of vanilla.
Became, like, enamored with it.
But they're still skinny. How is that?
Exactly.
I'm telling you right now, I barely eat.
Going back into the old wine
meaning in your comparison minds of what I eat, I barely eat, okay? I had nothing for breakfast but coffee. I had a tuna melt with little bagel size, this is this big, with mayonnaise, tuna fish, and 2 slices of tomato. I'll have dinner, and then probably an ice cream, and I have this. It's mental.
Do you think it tastes better if you buy it?
It comes from hoes like this.
It doesn't matter how good whatever machine. I don't
And there's a large amount of them that are attacking us. So we're getting hit from many, many directions, from media, from people like, what's his name? Who's a football player who's going through crap right now?
I am obsessed.
See, I can't even remember his name,
with stand-up comedy.
which is an attempt for Gazelle to destroy him.
I think he does.
Because he wants to leave her, but now we're looking at the Price is Right.
Just like being a rapper.
I know you well enough to know this.
But now we're into football season. So an attempt is to destroy his legacy,
You gotta give it. You have.
which must be why he's getting reamed at the football stadium too.
I know, and I knew that I could get you to say it because I know.
So there's some different things going on there.
I really, really think you will, and here's why. I know you just enough.
Anyway, so you got people like her,
Not enough downside.
you got the media, the politicians, the celebrities coming at us,
Too much upside.
trying to make us feel less, where we have this. Now, I just told you what I ate.
If it worked,
Now, for me, I've been on both sides of it, where I've empowered myself out of media
pulled that off.
and have looked like a damn supermodel.
Whole genre goes, then on the fucking Jordans.
And it's a different experience in where I'm at now.
What funny
And that is a collective consciousness version of the shit.
really successful. Before we start this fireside chat, can we go back to 2017? What the fuck were you thinking about doing a sneaker? Too much upside with not enough downside. That's why I think you're gonna do it.
If you're watching Seinfeld right now on Comedians and Cars Getting Coffee, I think in 50 years, we'll look
Do you want to go
back
get some
and
coffee?
say,
Do
he was
you want to go get some coffee? Do you want to go get some coffee? No, I don't want to go get some coffee. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
I have a lot of respect for
I like to have 1 cup in the morning, that's it.
I will say this.
On occasion, for like a celebration, it's fun to go have a cup of coffee with someone.
I watched that episode because of Hassan Minaj, and I was super
Mind
disappointed
games.
in Seinfeld's
It's a drug.
ability to.
They're psychotic.
It's funny, I cut people off because we don't.
I'm gonna go have a matcha tea. Oh.
It's easy to make it seem like nobody's getting cut off. I thought that was a super awkward episode.
All made up, by the way.
I think that I was surprised that he wasn't capable of adjusting to the.
I've never had a desire to have
I thought
matcha
that
tea.
The Kate McKinnon, which I also watched, it came natural. Thus, it was great. The Hassan Minaj, it didn't come natural, and I thought it was really bad. Thoughts?
I think that you're
Natural versus not natural.
are stand-up comedy. And I think
Stand-up
that
comedy.
Seinfeld, especially your Q&As, that's where you get the most stand-up.
Yeah.
When I see it come
It's
out.
a yoga,
I think the Seinfeld and the Samanaz
what's the word? A yoga
service
prop.
it could have gone deep. I've seen other stuff with Hassan, like
Slippery when wet.
both.
For both. I think it was styles make fights.
Shitters.
I love you for that. Give me something. You know,
See, here we go. We're feeding her.
Can I use that analogy? That's a bird sugar.
Oh, I just got what I got fueled.
An old school.
This whole meeting is now worth it for her.
Sugar was the iconic
Sugar.
several years ago. Like a 1957's Irish bar, 3 cigars, a fight song.
I got 3 cigars now. I'm the lead.
Everyone's bored and
Yet when she's speaking, everyone's bored. So now, as simple as that interaction was,
it's like my life philosophy.
you've just fueled her to be vicious to us. This is how they work, though. To vicious to the woman race.
Styles make fights. This kid's a great kid. VaynerMedia's got great
And then now you're going to support her
styles make fights.
and get her to where she
This
gets
moment,
above us
this
all.
time, it didn't click. They're not a dick. Vayner's not a bad place. Styles make fights. And that's why I was watching it, and 6 minutes, like 2 seconds in, but 6 minutes in, I'm like, fuck, Styles make fights.
We're going to stop this in 8 seconds and see if it'll download.
Most extreme styles.
This is an extreme. She's an extreme one. She's a redhead.
It's like